Hi everyone, this is Anna from Koala Soap. I'm back and I hope all of you are doing well. I'm going to make a crystal soap. My daughter is into crystals. She loves it, and I try to read up a little bit on it because I like to know what she's up to. What I did is I found this little mold. It's on Etsy, and I think I'm going to put the name up along here. I think it's called a Druzy mold. And so what I did was I actually tested it out. I'm going to show you how I've done it several times. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put this on the side. We're going to go ahead and melt our melt and pour soap. This mold, I believe, can only go to about, I'm sure you could, looks like it's made of the same molds of our other molds are made out of. But I don't know if there's a melting point to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour maybe at 140. If I can keep it down that low. I'm going to use crystal clear melt and pour, and I'm going to actually be using a purple from Stardust Mica and a pearl. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to melt this down first so it could start to cool while we're doing everything else. Just check the name of it, and it's called a mini Druzy mold. It's about $6 on Etsy. What I'm going to do is I will go ahead and I will put a link to everything I'm using in the description below. So what's nice about this mold is the same as when I did the silicone stamps. If you're using a pink mold, it will grab. Okay, it's not going to move. So you don't have to worry about gluing it down with some melt and pour or anything like that. You just keep it there. And I'm actually going to show you something that I learned not to do. But let's start here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is Pearl Mica from Stardust. And I'm going to go ahead and I am going to, probably over here, not in the mold I'm going to use, and I am going to just kind of brush on this Pearl Mica onto the mold. Just like that. Try to get all the nooks and crannies. Okay, so now we have it down here. What I wanted to do was, because I'm using a purple, I wanted to use my grape soda fragrance, because this is only about 4 or 5 ounces. I'm only going to use, or I was only going to use about 1.5 mLs, which is it's on the pipette. It's like the halfway point on the 3 ml. I'm not going to do that because I kind of just want to show you how to do this, and I'm going to perfect it. So this is the first video, and then I have ideas on how to make this a little bit better, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit. So we are at 148. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is, I don't have my pouring alcohol, but I'm going to go ahead and squirt a little bit of alcohol in this bath bomb mold, which is what I use. I'm going to take a little bit of purple mica, just a little. I cover everything up because I am the person that will make a disaster. I already know it. I know myself. And I want to do a quick shout out to Dean for checking up on me. He's been a little bit worried about me because I was in the hospital and stuff like that. I wasn't sick. I worked in a hospital. So, he was just kind of checking on my mental well-being. And things have lightened up here a little bit, so I can now kind of go back to life a little bit. You never know. Okay, so that's a beautiful, beautiful purple. I'm going to go ahead and Let's see what we're at. Okay, so we're at 134.1. Okay, so this is what I've done before, and you don't want to do this. I didn't want to disturb this mica powder in the little holes here. So what I did was I poured on the side, and that got underneath the mold, lifted it up, and it floated away. You can do that, and if you do that, have your skewer or whatever ready, because it's really no problem to hold it down for probably about a minute, and then it'll stay on the bottom. So if you do it that way, and even the way I pour it now, it might still do it that way. Just make sure you have a skewer ready to go, and then you can just hold it down while it's settling down. You want to make sure the mold is with the rough side up, okay? So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to just pour gently on top because it didn't work the way I did it before. Well, it did. I just had to improvise. Pour slowly. And again, this mold only takes about, probably about 4 to 5, but it's the perfect mold for everything. I mean, if you don't have these pink molds, you need to get them. They're just perfect. Squirt it with alcohol, and what you can see, and maybe you can't just yet, is you can see some of the speckles of white coming up, and that's okay. What I would do is, just to make sure, because of what happened to me the first time I did this, I would sneak that skewer in and make sure it's down, and it is, so we're happy. So we're going to go ahead and let this sit. This one's going to be just run off, or we'll use this for something else. And then you're going to see like some white flakes there, but again, this is a crystal soap. Crystals aren't perfect, so you're okay with this. If you're going to use this, remember my rule for what I use is going to be 5 mLs per pound. So if I'm going to use 4 of these molds, I'm going to use 5 mLs of fragrance oil. And I use fragrance oil. So what we'll do is we're just going to go ahead and let that sit. We'll go ahead and unmold it, and we'll see how it looks. And then I'm actually going to show you some other ways that I did it that probably didn't work out so great. So we'll be back probably in a couple hours when we're sure that this is dry, and we will unmold it and see how it looks. Okay, now we're back. So we're going to go ahead and unmold these. And as you can see, some of the soap went around that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that mold out of there. So the best way to do this is just to dig it out right here. And it's actually just going to fall away from the mold. So you just need to be a little careful with it. This one actually got a little bit more than what I was expecting. And then we're going to just peel this out. Now you can clean it up, but that's how it looks. And the reason I like doing it like this, here's my hand. It doesn't come off on my hand. There's a little bit of soap on there, but it just doesn't come off. Now you can just paint the mold after the fact, because it's recessed in there. When you put shrink wrap on it, it won't rub off on the shrink wrap. So either way you want to do it, I just like doing this because it just kind of stays on the soap for as long as the soap is used. So that is how you do this. Now what my daughter wanted me to do, and she said it would look a little bit more realistic, is if I did gray or silver on the outside, and then I did like the purple on the inside. And absolutely, so I will try to do more variations of this. But this mold is found on Etsy, and I'll put a link to it on the bottom there. It's called a Druzy mold. It's really a little tiny mold. It fits perfectly in these pink molds here, and it won't move. I have done it, I did this once before, so as you can see, it's the second time I've done it, and it looks really good. Now I've also done it where I would put like a little bit of clear melt and pour on, and then I would pour 2 layers of purple over it. I wanted to see if it was a big difference. And I really can't tell. I guess it looks a little bit more realistic because it looks like a little bit more, I guess, still lighter silver. This kind of pops and this doesn't. But I think both variations are good. And I also did one where it was just all one color. And there is no glitter in there. This is just the way the mold looks when it's taken out. It's just really sparkly. So anyway, I just thought this was a really cool idea, simple to do. If you're going to, you just get one mold with the link I give you, and I think she charges like $6. But it was actually a really cute idea, and it works great. Okay, so I am back. It's good to be back. And we will have some more videos for you shortly. So this is Anna at Koala Soap, and you guys have a really good weekend.